welcome back to Ollie's ASMR World. It's good to see you. Good. All well. Today, I have a rough idea what we're going to talk about, but it might get a bit all over the shop. So it's a football ASMR video. Just before we continue, nobody can complain. This is football, and we are talking about football. We're going to talk about German football today, and just have a look at the Bayern Munich team. Might look at the Dortmund team. Might save it for another video. I'm not too sure. But I watched Bayern Munich the other day against Dortmund. It was against Dortmund, and I backed Bayern Munich to win. I backed them on a bet, and I figured they'd win. But they were 2-0 down in like the first 10 minutes. I was like, oh God, here we go. But knowing the Dortmund defence as I do, like just from score lines and stuff, I knew the Dortmund team wasn't great defensively. And Bayern are pretty good offensively, attacking wise. So I was always confident there'd be goals for Bayern Munich in the game. And so I don't put massive bets on. I put this I think it was £2 odd, $2.77. It was a 7-fold accumulator, and 4 of the matches came in, no problem. I had later on in the night PSG to win, which they did 2-0, I think it was, away at Brest, and I had another game, and that came in easily. The one game that had me worried was the Bayern Munich Dortmund game, and I had Bayern Munich to win, and there was 2-0 down, and before half time it was 2-2. I was like, momentum's on Bayern's side, and my missus said, "Dude, I put £2 odd on," and it was for a win total of like 27 quid, and they offered me like 14 or 15, and my missus was like, "Look, you got 15 quid there, you've only put £2 odd on." Bayern Munich, this is my wife who doesn't know sod all about football. She was watching, like, look, they're not going to score. She said, the yellow team are going to score next. She said, take my word for it. The red team ain't playing all that well. This is how she sort of explained it to me. And in my head, I was like, she's talking waffle, but if I lose this bet, I'm going to be really angry. I didn't take her advice. She said, cash out now. Take the money. Take the bloody 14, 15 quid. I was like, really? She said, do it. You know it makes sense. And in my head, I was like, yeah, it makes sense. Because if Dortmund score the next goal, I'm going to be kicking myself that they'll start on 14, 15 quid from a £2 bet. So I took my bad, sorry about that. So I took the money, end of, done with. I went on to watch, obviously, Bayern Munich score another 2 goals. They won the game 4-2 in the end, convincingly. It was like Dortmund accepted it was either going to be a draw or they was happy to maybe even lose the points. Because they took Haaland off early on in the second half, resting him for the game against Sevilla tonight. Anyways, I took the money, so I sort of won, but I didn't win what I could have won. Even though I picked 7 matches and they all came in, I was like, you never get a 7-fold accumulator. Never comes in for me. But it did this time, and I just took an easy route out. So I was really angry about that. But I was watching the Bayern Munich team, and they were bringing on like Leroy Sané. He was on the pitch. He went off. Kingsley Coman was on the pitch. He went off. I think he went off. Might be wrong. But they were bringing on such good players. Like, what the hell? How good is this Bayern Munich team? I mean, Lewandowski's like 32. But how good do they look? Defensively, terrible. Absolutely awful. I thought, let's just talk about Bayern Munich and maybe even brush it up if we get time. I love what German football does with young English players. So we've done it for years in England, haven't we? We've brought in young players from all around the world and hope for the best. But how many young players do we actually bring in? I mean young players, and we develop them in this country pretty much. And they turn into star players. It don't really happen. Cesc was an unknown, went to Arsenal, became a fantastic player. Cesc Fabregas. Ronaldo, obviously. But there's not that many off the top of my head. We often seem to bring in established players who've already been doing it in a different league for X amount of time, And then we're like, okay, now we'll bring them in. Right, Spain do it quite well. They do it very well. I mean, obviously, always raiding Real Madrid and Barcelona over the years, always raided the top teams in England. Ronaldo, Beckham, Michael Owen back in the day. Obviously didn't go on to have a great career over there. Philip Coutinho at Barcelona failed, but he was at top of his game at Liverpool at the time, etc., etc. But Germany, over the last few years, have adopted this mentality of let's go and get really young players that I've never heard of and make them into really great players. Jadon Sancho, never heard him when he was at Man City, goes to Borussia Dortmund, star player. Erling Haaland, I was just hearing about him when he was at Salzburg in his last season. Before that, he'd obviously been playing really well before that for Mulder under Solskjaer and etc. I'd never heard of him, ever. And then that season, right before he went to Dortmund, I was like, who the hell's this player? And when United were being linked to him and everything. And now, look at him, star player. One of the best strikers in the world, Erling Haaland. Got 2 against Bayern Munich on the weekend. Jude Bellingham, I'd heard about him for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years before he went to Dortmund. There was links obviously to United. He was close to joining United, went around Old Trafford, chose Dortmund. There's a reason for that. He obviously felt that Dortmund and Germany was the place to be. You know, you get more chances over there. But we have the young lad, I don't want to get his surname wrong or pronounce it, I think it's Musiala or Misaela. He's German born with an English dad or part English parent. So he could play for England, but he's going to choose to play for... He's represented England under 23s and 21s and under 2s and whatnot, but he's going to choose to play for Germany because he's born in Germany, he's lived there all his life, so you can't begrudge him that. There's other lots of good players as well. We had Ademola Lookman, went to Leipzig, didn't really make it there. He's now making a name for himself again after leaving Everton, going to Leipzig, leaving Leipzig, on loan now at Fulham, doing great. There's a fair few. Alphonso Davies, not English, Canadian, I think he's made his way to Canada from an African country. I'm not sure whereabouts it was. I did hear a story about his mum was a refugee, ended up in Canada, and he ends up playing at Bayern Munich, and he's one of the best left backs in the world. I just really do appreciate and like what Germany do, these young footballers. And I just want to have a quick look at the Bayern Munich team because they've got a great team. They need to improve in one or two areas, but I mean, they went for a phase, didn't they, of bringing like old players on loan. I couldn't get it. They had Vidal there at one point on loan. Didn't really add anything to the team. Philip Coutinho, not old, but they brought him in on loan. Didn't work out. And they were doing this a little bit like, really, you're going to keep bringing these like players who ain't making it over teams and hope that they improve your team? It didn't work for them. So they've gone back to basics. They brought in Leroy Sané. Cost them a lot of money. They missed out on him in the previous window, and then they left it a while. So the last transfer window in the summer, just gone. And they got him from Man City because they knew he wanted to join. So it makes it an easier deal, don't it? They've already signed Upamecano from Leipzig on a pre-contract. He joins at the end of the season. So have a little look at their team right now as it stands. So in goal, you've got Manuel Neuer. There's their main goalkeeper. Alexander Nubel. I think he's a young German guy. And a guy called Ron Torben Hoffman. Sounds Scandinavian. Defensively, they're not the best. There's been talk of Jerome Boateng leaving for a long time. And I can see it happening sooner rather than later. David Alaba has confirmed he'll leave at the end of the season. So Upamecano replaces David Alaba. Alphonso Davies there, the left back as mentioned. You have Benjamin Pavard, French World Cup winner, right back. Nicolas Soulé. If I was a Bayern fan, he wouldn't fill me with confidence. He's not unreliable, but I wouldn't say he's going to make all the difference in necessarily a Champions League final. Bouna Sarr, I'm not sure who he is. Lucas Hernandez, another French World Cup winner. Tanguy Nianzou, He was signed, I'll check it out before we start this video, from PSG. He was a young lad, 18 I think he was, signed from PSG. In and around the first team squad at PSG, played under Tuchel. And Bayern saw potential, went and got him. I like that. Joshua Kimmich in midfield, really good player. Javi Martinez. I was watching the Bayern Dortmund game. I was like, Martinez? Surely I had to check it out. I was like, Christ, Javi Martinez is still playing for Bayern. Leon Goretzka. Great player. Really good young German lad. He is now like 25, 26, 25 years old, I think. And now, coming to the prime of his career. Mark Rocker. I couldn't tell you anything about that lad. Corentin Tolisso. He's alright. They do need to improve their midfield, don't get me wrong. Thiago Dantas. Don't know about him either. There was Thiago Alcantara to Liverpool in the last season. Big blow for him. And they do need to improve their midfield. But on paper, it's good enough to win the German league. Up front is where it's scary. What I said about players they was able to bring off the bench, they brought on Serge Gnabry. Now, okay, he had spells at Arsenal, West Brom, etc., etc. Didn't make it at all. Goes to Bayern Munich. He is a wonder player for him and for Germany. He scored bags of goals. And he came on off the bench the other day, I think, for Lewandowski. I think so anyway. Might be not for Sane, I think it was. So, Bayern's forward line, they have Serge Gnabry, Robert Lewandowski, 32 kid on, but still like 30 goals I think this season. Leroy Sane, Douglas Costa, who I think is on his way back to Italy at the end of the season, I think he said. Thomas Muller. I mean, not a bad option, is he? Kingsley Coman. Just gets better. I mean, look, I seen a goal he scored a little while ago. Flipping heck. I can't remember who he was against, but what a goal. Jamal Musiala, the young lad I was just talking about, who could have played for England. Who is actually a year younger than my daughter, for Christ's sake. Well, about 6 months younger. But then they have this really odd name there. And I'm really confused. I gotta be honest, I'm very confused. So let's have a look at this. Serge Gnabry, I just clicked on his name by mistake. He has this season. Let's have a look. 8 goals, 1 assist in 28 games. Okay, it's not fantastic. Maybe his form's dropped a bit, but he's definitely got potential to come on to score goals. This young lad, Jamal Musiala, he has... Look. 4 goals. 4 goals. He's 17 years old. Bear in mind. Kingsley Coman. Let's have a look at him. 6 goals, 11 assists in 25 games. Then you have Thomas Muller, the legend that is Thomas Muller. Let's have a look at his. 13 goals, 12 assists, not too bad. Has 25 goal involvements in like 20 odd games. Leroy Sane, how's he doing over there? Let's have a little look, season. Lucky. 8 goals, 8 assists in 29 games. And then we're going to go to the main man, Robert Lewandowski. So Lewandowski has... He's got how many goals he won't open? 35 goals and 7 assists in 31 games. He don't better think about it, does he? 35 goals, 7 assists in 31 games. That is ridiculous. But like I said, then you got this really odd name there. And I was like, how the hell is this bloke keep doing it? There was a film years ago called The Ringer with Johnny Knoxville, where basically he pretends to be like an athlete or some or a football player, like American football I think it was, when he's clearly not, and he gets into the team. It's happened over the years in professional soccer, football, where people have come their way into teams pretending that they can play. PSG for a year or two, and now to Bayern Munich. So these are his clubs that I know of. Like the 4 clubs. Let's have a little look. Let me just make sure I got this correct. Okay. Where's his career? Here we go. Former clubs. I'm not going to go all the way back to his early clubs, but we have. Okay, I thought he played for Sunderland. I got one wrong. But Nuremberg, or Hamburg, Nuremberg, Mainz, Schalke, Stoke. From Stoke to PSG. From PSG to Bayern Munich. I have no idea if this bloke has, like, so he's blackmailing these teams, like he knows something about their owners or something. I don't know. I hold hands up, I do not know. But somehow, Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting is at Bayern Munich. And I was watching it. I was watching the Bayern Dortmund game, and I didn't know he was there. And it popped up like the names of the substitutes. I was like, what? Has he got a brother who's really good at something? Is there a twin I didn't know about? And I checked it out on the inside. I was like, nope, right there. Choupo-Moting plays for Bayern Munich. He used to play for PSG. And I knew he used to play for PSG. I couldn't believe he played for them. I was like, what the hell? How's he get into this Bayern Munich team? And I think he actually came off the bench against Dortmund. I might be wrong, I'm sure he did though. And I was in shock. But yeah, Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting. They also Rakitic. Where's Rakitic at? Has he gone back? He must have gone. Oh sure, Rakitic was not Rakitic. Perisic. He's not on this team sheet here. Has he gone back to Inter? Let's have a look. Ivan Perisic, Croatian footballer. I wanted him at United before. He went to a few years ago when he was at Inter. So, yep, he's back at Inter Milan by the looks of it. I didn't know that. I thought he was on loan at Bayern Munich still. Having a little gander. Yeah, he left Bayern Munich August 11th, 2020. Or end of August 2020 to go out to Inter Milan. He was only on loan anyway, weren't he? At Bayern Munich. So his loan ended. He went back to Inter. But he's another good player back in the day. Not so good anymore. He's getting on a little bit now. But yeah, I really like what Bayern Munich are doing. They get these young players. They've already got Upamecano signed up. Their manager the other day, Hansi Flick, said there's no saying that they won't sign Erling Haaland. I'm like, you better say you're not signing Erling Haaland. I don't want him at Man City or Liverpool, Chelsea. I'd like him at United. Of course I would. But then again, if Bayern get him and we don't get him, if we're not in for him, but the other teams are, then I'd rather he go to Bayern than another Premier League team than United. But just in general though, I mean the fact that they say that's what they're doing, they go out and they raid their rivals in the league. Like United used to do back in the day when they got Rio Ferdinand, Alan Smith, Andy Cole. United were always doing it back in the day, going out and getting the best players from rival teams in the Premier League. Robin Van Persie was another one that we did too. Wayne Rooney, Everton. And Bayern Munich do that. They're just following patterns. They've always done it. Mats Hummels came from Dortmund. Erling Haaland could come in from Dortmund. Robert Lewandowski came from Dortmund. Leon Goretzka went on a free to Bayern Munich from Schalke. Might be wrong. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. Do you like Bayern Munich? Do you back them to win the Champions League? I think it's between Bayern Munich and Man City to win the Champions League this season. In all honesty, how the hell Liverpool is still in it, I don't know. We'll talk about Liverpool in another video. But take it easy, everyone. I'll see you again soon. Let me know in the comments who you want to see a video on, football player wise or football club wise. Let me know. And I'll see you all again soon. Take care. Goodbye.